Hey everyone, welcome back to Learn English with Emma. I'm Emma, your guide to mastering English in a fun and natural way. Today, I've got something super exciting for you. A lesson that's going to boost your vocabulary and help you understand stories in English like never before. By the end of this video, you'll learn some really useful phrases that you'll hear all the time in conversations, movies, and TV shows. Plus, we're going to dive into a short story that'll make these phrases come to life. How does that sound? Let's get started. Now, I know that when you're learning English, listening to or reading stories can sometimes feel a bit tricky. You might catch the main idea but miss some details because of unfamiliar words or expressions. That's totally okay. Today, we're going to make things easier. I'll share a short story with you, and don't worry if you don't understand every single word the first time. We'll go through the story together, learn some key phrases, and then revisit the story so it all clicks into place. My goal is to make this fun and stress-free so you can feel confident and enjoy the process. Ready? Let's do this. Here's the story. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Lily. Lily had a best friend named Max, and they were inseparable. They shared secrets, laughed together, and always had each other's backs. One afternoon, Lily asked Max to help her prepare for a big school presentation. Max promised he'd come over after school to practice with her. But that day, something unexpected happened, and Max didn't keep his promise. On his way to Lily's house, Max ran into some friends who were heading to the park to play basketball. Max thought, "I'll just play for a little while and then go help Lily." But he got so caught up in the game that he completely forgot about Lily. The next day at school, Lily was really disappointed. Max had let her down, and she felt hurt. At first, she didn't say anything, but deep down, she was frustrated. Max had flaked on her before, and this time, it was the final straw. Lily decided she couldn't just brush it off anymore. She walked up to Max during lunch and said, "You said you'd help me with my presentation, but you didn't show up. I'm not letting this slide this time." Max felt awful. He realized he'd messed up and hadn't been a good friend. He apologized sincerely and promised to make it up to Lily. From that day on, Max was much more careful about keeping his promises. So, what did you think of that story? Did you get the main idea? Maybe you understood that Max didn't help Lily like he said he would, and that upset her. But were there any words or phrases that felt a little confusing? Don't worry if there were. I'm here to help. In the story, we heard phrases like, "something came up," "let her down," "the final straw," "brush it off," and "make it up." These are super common expressions in English, and once you know what they mean, you'll start noticing them everywhere. Let's break them down one by one, and I'll explain them in a way that's easy to understand. After that, we'll go back to the story, and I promise it'll feel so much clearer. Sound good? Let's dive into the first phrase. First up is something came up. In the story, Max promised to help Lily, but then something came up. Any guesses about what this means? If you're thinking it's about something unexpected getting in the way, you're on the right track. When we say something came up, it means an unexpected event or situation popped up that stopped someone from doing what they planned. For example, imagine you're supposed to meet a friend for coffee, but your boss calls and asks you to finish some work. You might text your friend, "Hey, I'm so sorry, something came up at work and I can't make it." It's a casual way to explain why you had to change your plans. Let's try using it in a sentence. Here's one. "I was going to call my mom last night, but something came up, and I had to help my roommate with a project." Now, can you think of a time when something came up in your life? Maybe you planned to study, but a friend needed your help, or you had to run an errand. Try making your own sentence with "something came up," and share it in the comments below. I'd love to see it. This phrase is so handy, and you'll hear it a lot in everyday English. Next, let's talk about let her down. In the story, Max let Lily down by not helping her with her presentation. What do you think this means? If you guessed that it's about disappointing someone, you're spot on. When you let someone down, it means you didn't do what they were counting on you to do, and now they're disappointed or upset. It's often used when someone trusts you or expects something from you and you don't follow through. For example, If your friend asks you to save them a seat at a concert, but you forget and they have to stand, you've let them down. Here's an example sentence. I let my team down when I forgot to bring the notes for our group project. Can you think of a time when you felt like you let someone down? Or maybe someone let you down? It's something we've all experienced. Try writing a sentence with, "let someone down" in the comments. This phrase is really emotional and shows how much trust matters in relationships, so it's great to know how to use it. Now, let's move on to the final straw. In the story, Lily was upset because Max not helping her was the final straw. Any ideas about what this means? It's a powerful phrase. The final straw refers to the last in a series of problems that finally makes someone lose their patience or take action. It comes from an old saying about a camel carrying straw. Each piece of straw adds weight, and one final piece breaks the camel's back. In Lily's case, Max had disappointed her before, but this time was the last thing she could handle, so she spoke up. Here's an example. My neighbor kept playing loud music late at night, and when it happened again last weekend, it was the final straw. I had to talk to them about it. Have you ever had a final straw moment where you just couldn't take it anymore? Maybe it was a friend who kept canceling plans or a coworker who kept making mistakes. Share a sentence with the final straw in the comments. It's such a vivid way to express frustration. Next up is brush it off. In the story, I said Lily couldn't just brush it off anymore. This phrase might be new to you, so let's break it down. When you brush something off, it means you ignore or dismiss a problem instead of dealing with it. It's like saying, "Oh, it's not a big deal, I'll let it go." But in the story, Lily was done brushing things off. She wanted to address the issue with Max. For example, if someone borrows your pen and doesn't return it, you might brush it off and say, "It's just a pen." But if they keep doing it, you might stop brushing it off and say something. Here's an example sentence. My brother kept teasing me, and at first I brushed it off, but now it's getting annoying. Can you think of a time when you brushed something off or decided not to? Try making a sentence with brush it off and share it below. This phrase is super useful for talking about how you handle small annoyances. Finally, let's talk about make it up. In the story, Max promised to make it up to Lily after letting her down. This is a great phrase to know. When you make it up to someone, it means you do something nice or helpful to apologize for a mistake or to make them feel better after disappointing them. For example, if you miss a friend's birthday, you might say, "I'm so sorry, let me make it up to you by taking you out for ice cream." It's a way to show you care and want to fix things. Here's an example. I forgot to call my friend back, so I made it up to her by sending her a thoughtful message. Have you ever had to make it up to someone, or has someone made it up to you? Share a sentence with "make it up" in the comments. This phrase is perfect for talking about apologies and rebuilding trust. Wow! You've just learned 5 super common English phrases. Something came up, let someone down, the final straw, brush it off, and make it up. Give yourself a pat on the back. That's awesome! Now that we've gone over these phrases, let's revisit the story. I bet it's going to make so much more sense this time. Here we go. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Lily. Her best friend was Max, and they did everything together. One day, Lily asked Max to help her practice for a school presentation, and Max promised he'd come over after school. But something came up. Max ran into friends who were playing basketball at the park. He thought, "I'll just play for a bit and then go to Lily's." But he had so much fun that he completely forgot about his promise. The next day, Lily was upset because Max had let her down. She didn't say anything at first, but this was the final straw. Max had flaked on her before, and she couldn't brush it off anymore. At lunch, Lily told Max, "You said you'd help me, but you didn't. I'm not brushing this off this time." Max felt terrible. He apologized and promised to make it up to Lily. From then on, Max was much more reliable and kept his promises. So, how was the story this time? Did it feel clearer now that you know the phrases? I'm guessing you understood a lot more, especially the parts about Max letting Lily down and Lily deciding it was the final straw. These phrases really help bring the story to life, don't they? Let me know in the comments how you felt about the story the second time around. Learning phrases like these is such a game changer because they're so common in everyday English. You'll hear them in conversations, on TV, in movies, and even in books. The more you practice using them, the more natural they'll feel. Try using "something came up" when you have to cancel plans, or "let someone down" when you're talking about a time you disappointed someone. You can even use "the final straw" to describe a moment when you hit your limit. These phrases will make your English sound more fluent and authentic. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. Today you learned: something came up means an unexpected event stops you from doing what you planned. Let someone down means you disappoint someone by not meeting their expectations. The final straw is the last problem that makes someone lose their patience. Brush it off means to ignore or dismiss a problem. Make it up means to do something nice to apologize for a mistake. I'm so proud of you for sticking with this lesson and learning these phrases. To keep practicing, try writing a short story or a few sentences using these phrases and share them in the comments. Or, the next time you're watching a show or talking with friends, listen for these expressions and see if you can spot them. It's such a fun way to reinforce what you've learned. Thank you so much for joining me today on Learn English with Emma. If you enjoyed this lesson and found it helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our next one. We've got more exciting topics coming up to help you improve your English listening, speaking, and vocabulary skills. Click the bell icon so you get notified when I post a new video. And if you want to keep practicing, check out the link in the description for more resources on my website. Keep learning, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.